in a slightly witchier corner of my room here with my bottle collection, and I was out today getting some clothes and stuff for a new job that I'm starting on Monday, and I realised I had nothing to wear. So while I was doing that, I decided to do something fun that I would actually enjoy, and that meant going around shopping for some stuff for a video that I've been wanting to do for a while, just to see what I could get. This is kind of a proof of concept video. Basically, witchy stuff that you can buy on the high street. I live near one of the most deprived high streets in the land. We don't really have any of the big shops anymore. Obviously BHS went. We don't have any like Marks and Spencers, anything like that. It's mostly like Poundland, B&M bargains, home bargains, a lot of bargain shops, and a lot of off-brand clothing shops, which spells style wrong. I passed one today which was called Styly. Weird. Did not go in. But I thought I should share with you like some of the witchy stuff you can get from these high street shops. And I know that there are ethical considerations to do with shopping at these kinds of like bargain shops, but if you're just getting started out and you need to get some supplies, like basic supplies, then this is probably a good place for you to go. So I'm just going to start out with probably the least impressive one. So I went into B&M bargains to look for a specific item that I'd seen in them before. Could not find it anywhere. Really disappointed, had to go elsewhere. But I did buy a giant thingy of salt. Obviously you can get lots of other things at B&M bargains. Candles, jars, various different like craft items like paint and things that you can make things with. I didn't bother to buy any of those because I think we all know that you can get jars and candles from there. Salt is a good one. I was actually looking for their pink Himalayan salt, which comes in a container much like this size, and they're both £1, but in the end I could only get coarse sea salt. This is quite a big thing of it, and useful for a variety of things, as we shall see. So that was £1. I then went into my favourite witchcraft shop on the high street, which is The Works. If you've never seen one, it sells basically like trade paperbacks, stationery, toys, a lot of that sort of stuff. It's also a really good place to get craft items, like to use in crafts. So from there I got another set of these. I already have a lot of these. These are £1, and they're little glass jars with corks in. They're slightly bigger than the normal little ones that you can get, and I use these to store oil blends when I make essential oil blends for specific purposes. You can also use them to store like small amounts of moon water or salt if you're going to do like an outdoor ritual and you need to have one of those things with you. I have one of these in my outdoor ritual kit. You can also use these to contain very small amounts of incense or a whole spell if you're like adding things in to it, which is pretty good. But yeah, those are £1 for 6. I'll just show you one which I have my blended oil in. So I should probably throw this away, it's separated a bit, but if you can see there, it's labelled and it has a blended oil that I've made in it. It does keep it reasonably like fresh, and like the corks fit in there quite well, so it's a good way to store those. I also got from there one of these. The Works sell a lot of these, lots of different shapes, sizes, boxes. You can get like this big ones for like £4. This was £1.50. They're made of kind of like a rough balsa wood type thing, and they're meant for like decoupage or painting or crafts and stuff. I couldn't find the size one that I actually wanted to show you, which I believe is between £2 and £3, I think. But it's one that I made into a tarot card box, which I have here to show you. So all I did with this is obviously paint it purple and then use some nail art striping tape to mark off these parts to paint them gold to make it look a bit more like a chest, and then I used a stencil set to obviously write tarot on there. Inside it's painted gold as well, and it's got essential oils in it. What I really like about these boxes is that because it's obviously raw wood, it's absorbent, so you can put essential oils on there. Like this one has oils in it for divination, psychic awareness, to obviously charge my cards when I'm not using them. which was a fantastic idea on my part. I do really like that. I think the oils in there are like lemongrass and orange, which smell really good. The one that is similar to this size, I also have another one which is green with little gold feet, and I've stenciled the word oils on top because it's the perfect size to keep all your little glass bottles for oils in here, and it can fit about 8 of those in there, so that's pretty good. It keeps them all nice and neat. So those are always fantastic. I have made other things from these boxes. I've got like a mirror box for putting ill wishes in, to have all their stuff reflected back on them. Throw me a thumbs up if you'd like to have a talk through of how I made that, because that was quite fun to make, and I wouldn't mind making another one on camera for you guys. So that was for the works. I also got this. This is a book that's been on my to read list for a while. It's usually £9.99. The cover price is actually £12.99, but it was marked down for £3. The Works has a lot of non-fiction books. Some of them usually to do with meditation, crystals, tarot, and they've usually got 1 or 2 spell books as well. In there today there was 5-minute magic, which is like a Wiccan spell book, which I didn't buy because I've got too many of those. But they also had moon spells and the Good Witch's spell book, which I reviewed for the podcast. So they were all about £3 each. So if you're looking to start a book collection, you could do worse than going to The Works. Haven't read this one yet, but it looks pretty good. Then moving on to Home Bargains, which is right way up the other end of town, so I rarely get to that, but today I did for you guys. So I said I wasn't going to show you jars, but I got a really big like mason jar type jar for 69 pence. Nice. What I'm going to do is mix musk salts with herbs and things to make bath salts and keep them in this jar. The 2 ingredients of this cost less than £2. You can't go wrong with that. Usually in like Home Bargains, B&M Bargains, there's food sections as well where you can get, other than salt, you can also get base oils like olive oil. You can get herbs, dried herbs, Itodaria sauce, cinnamon, thyme, chili powder, peppercorns. I didn't need any of those, so I didn't buy them. But they also have essential oils, which are hugely expensive normally. There's usually 4 or 5 different kinds of essential oils that you can buy on the high street in just like bargain shops and chemist shops. They're usually in the beauty/medical items aisle because these have medicinal uses. So I got eucalyptus, I got tea tree, and I got peppermint, all from Home Bargains, and they were, I kept my receipts, y'all. They were £1.49 each, except for the tea tree oil, which was only £1.19. So under £2 a bottle for pure essential oils, which is pretty good. And obviously these are like skin safe. They're from the like medicament aisle. So that's really good if you're looking to start off an essential oil collection. You know, I just got 3 bottles for less than £6. It's pretty good. Something else that I bought from there, which was 39p, was this giant bottle of antibacterial gel. Well, it's not giant, but it's pretty big. You may not think this is a witchy item, but I make a potion with this, and I use the word potion incredibly loosely because it's not really a potion, but I add lavender essential oil to this. I keep needing to pick up some sage essential oil to also add to it, and a little piece of quartz crystal. If you can find one that will fit inside the bottle. I have a tiny piece that I use. Shake it all about, and what you have is like an instant cleansing potion. I use this on my hands if I'm like about to charge an object, maybe when I'm out and about and I don't have time to like do a full like cleanse of myself before doing magic. I also use it if I'm in a hurry to cleanse crystals and other items, if I'm like whacking together a charm bag pretty fast. So that's a handy potion to have around. You could obviously like put runes and stuff on the bottle, or charge it in a specific way, or use different crystals or essential oils to add to it. One time I did try adding salt to this, obviously to make it more cleansing. I don't know why, science side of YouTube please explain, but when you put salt into this it just turns it back into a liquid instead of a gel, so don't do that. But essential oils, a couple of drops, usually fine. So that's another thing that you can use. And then moving on to Wilko's, which is my favourite place to get candles and other things like that. I saw a set of slate coasters that I didn't buy, but you can obviously use those to create like altar pentacles or charging grids for crystals and other things. They had lavender oil in Wilko, which was one that I was missing. The one that I was actually going around looking for was clove oil, which is the 5th one you can usually find in these places. I've seen it before in B&M, couldn't find it this time, but it's used for like toothaches and stuff, so it's usually either near the toothpaste or near the other oils and the medicaments. The lavender oil comes in a box, but it's just in a bottle like this. It's 100% pure aromatherapy oil, skin safe, and that was £1.50. So that's the most expensive oil that I bought. But again, I now have 4 essential oils for like £7, which is, I think, pretty good. If you don't have like online shopping, this is a good way to get those. I also bought extra long matches, which are 80p. I buy these every time I go to Wilko's because they're extra long. They're good for if you have to light a lot of candles like on your altar in like one continuous thing, for lighting charcoal discs because they go obviously a lot longer than regular matches, and for lighting candles in glass jars that are quite far down. They're also like really witchy and cool and I like them. So there we go. So that's what I got from Wilkinson's. Obviously there's a lot of other things that you can find on the high street. That was just me going once around my incredibly deprived high street. In the past, I've got quite a lot of things. Jar candles to make devotional candles, regular candles just to light the place up. Another good thing that you can find aside from like herbs, spices, oils in like the cooking section is small bottles of wine which you can use for offerings. You can find cheap glassware, not just jars and things, but also like cups, wine glasses to obviously maybe use as a chalice. You can also find, and I didn't buy this today, but it was a black enamel mug. It was in Poundland. It said I love camping on one side. But if you painted over that, you could just use it as like a cauldron or a place to burn incense. There are lots of different things that you can make and do with all of this bargain store stuff, and it's just a really good way to build up a set of supplies if you don't have access to internet shopping, but if you do have access to shitty high street shops. Which I say in jest because I love them so much. But yeah, you can obviously do a lot with these things. I've got a lot of projects now to do with this. I've got like boxes to paint, I've got oil mixes to make, I can make some more sea salts, which is pretty cool. So let me know if you'd be interested in some more high street looking to find these items that are maybe useful for more witchy stuff. They didn't have a lot at the Works at the moment because they have a massive sale on. The Works also have a points reward card, so I'm building up a lot of reward points, one spell item at a time. And I did actually in the end find clove oil. It's actually in my medicine cabinet at home, but I asked my dad where he got it. It was £3 and it was from Boots Pharmacy, which is a touch expensive, but if you're desperate for clove oil, you can find it at Boots. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing some more haul type videos. I know I've been doing car boot sale hauls, some jumble sale ones. I've got a big jumble sale coming up in October, so I'm all excited for that. And this is like obviously a high street haul. I really enjoy doing these for you guys. If you're interested in seeing more of them, let me know. Let me know any suggestions of places you'd like to see me go shopping, to see what I can see. And in the meantime, I will see you in the next video.